What does Ferrari get right about the origin story of the greatest sports car? How accurate is Adam Driver's portrayal of the character? And did that crazy car crash really happen? Let's find out. While everyone has heard of Ferrari, most people may not know exactly who its creator Enzo Ferrari was and how he came to create the most famous luxury sports car company in the world. That's the story that Michael Mann's latest film tells. But how accurate is it to Enzo Ferrari's real life? Let's separate the fact from the fiction in Ferrari. Michael Mann's film delves into the shocking personal life of its titular character, Enzo Ferrari, highlighting his relationships with his wife Laura, played by Penelope Cruz, and his mistress, Lina Lardi, portrayed by Shailene Woodley. However, the real Enzo Ferrari's romantic affairs were far more extensive and notorious. Known for his numerous affairs, Ferrari was often involved with a variety of flamboyant and sometimes vulgar women, occasionally dating up to 3 at a time. Indeed, he had a very cynical view on love, once remarking, "I am convinced that when a man tells a woman he loves her, he only means that he desires her, and that the only perfect love in this world is that of a father for his son." In the 1991 book, Enzo Ferrari, The Man and the Machine, which serves as the film's basis, the author explains that Enzo Ferrari regarded his marriage to Laura as merely a formal arrangement that helped his public image. A Time article even quoted him telling his racing manager, Romolo Tavoni, that a man should always have 2 wives. So, did Enzo Ferrari really have affairs? Yes. While Ferrari's story begins after the death of his first son, Dino, it does feature his second son, Piero Lardi. Indeed, Enzo had a second secret son with his mistress Lina Lardi, a fact he kept hidden from most people, even his wife Laura. However, Laura found out about Piero in 1957, when the boy was already 12. The film captures a heartfelt moment where Laura makes Enzo promise not to acknowledge Piero until after her death, highlighting her acceptance of his infidelities, but drawing the line at recognizing an illegitimate child, which she saw as a profound betrayal. This portrayal, however, simplifies the complexities of their relationship. Historically, it wasn't just Laura's objections, but also Italy's stringent divorce laws that restricted Enzo from leaving Laura to legitimize his relationship with Piero. In the end, following Laura's death in 1978, Enzo formally acknowledged Piero, who then assumed the name Piero Lardi Ferrari. He began working at Ferrari, and today serves as its billionaire vice chairman. As depicted in the film, Enzo did make clandestine visits to Piero, and once even took him to visit Dino's grave. These narrative elements are rooted in reality, as confirmed by a Ferrari biographer, Brock Yates. So, did Enzo Ferrari really have a secret, illegitimate son? Yes. Ferrari has been celebrated for its painstaking attention to detail, especially regarding the cars featured in the film, and for good reason. Indeed, great efforts were made to ensure authenticity, with some cars being genuine historical pieces, while those that are featured in on-screen driving scenes are actually expertly crafted replicas. Notable examples such as the Maserati 450S, Ferrari 315S, and Ferrari 355S were recreated by taking laser scans of actual cars. These meticulously replicated bodies were then mounted on Caterham 620 chassis with supercharged inline-4 engines. Stunt coordinator Robert Nagel disclosed to AutoWeek that for scenes like the Mille Miglia, we had built 7 of them, and then the rest were real cars that we rented. And director Michael Mann's dedication to genuine settings matches his commitment to vehicle authenticity. Unlike other racing movies, such as Ford v Ferrari, which substituted California for authentic locales, Ferrari was shot in Italy, capturing the essence of real sites significant to the story. Mann's choice to film at actual locations in and around Modena underscores his commitment to realism and enriches the film's historical authenticity. So, are Ferrari's historical details accurate? Yes. Surprisingly, the film portrays Enzo Ferrari as relatively indifferent to his renowned street cars and their affluent clientele. But was this Enzo Ferrari's true attitude? One notable scene vividly illustrates this nonchalance, depicting Ferrari leaving a monarch waiting in the rain, underscoring his focus on racing over commercial pursuits. This attitude stems from Ferrari's origins as a race car driver and his fervent passion for crafting winning engines, often viewing the drivers themselves as mere instruments for his vehicle's success. Indeed, Ferrari is a prestigious name in the automotive world, synonymous with luxury and status. However, the real Enzo Ferrari displayed little personal interest in the street cars that bore his name. His primary motivation for manufacturing these vehicles was to finance his true passion, racing. The movie accurately captures this aspect, reflecting Ferrari's singular dedication to achieving glory on the racetrack rather than the commercial success of his street cars. So, is it true that Enzo didn't care about his street cars? Yes. In the movie, Ferrari is depicted as being close to bankruptcy in 1957, with the future of the company resting on the outcome of the Mille Miglia race. This version suggests that without these successes, Ferrari might have been forced to dissolve. However, this diverges significantly from historical accounts. Enzo Ferrari, who had established his company in 1947 after years with Alfa Romeo, indeed faced financial pressures, but the situation was not as dire as the film suggests. Contrary to the movie's depiction, which implies the company is on the verge of bankruptcy, by 1957, the company was actually doing quite well. Luca Del Monte, author of the biography Enzo Ferrari, Power, Politics, and the Making of an Automotive Empire, asserts that this portrayal is totally inaccurate. In an interview with AutoWeek, Del Monte clarified that it was Maserati, not Ferrari, that was financially troubled in 1957. Indeed, he also noted that while the Mille Miglia was significant, it was just part of a larger championship series. Ferrari was performing well on the market. The company had won the World Championship in Formula One the previous year and was producing and selling more cars globally than ever before, over 100 cars a year. Despite the personal grief Enzo Ferrari experienced following the death of his son Dino in 1956, the company itself was not in a financial crisis. Ultimately, 10 years later in 1967, Ferrari did sell a 50% stake to Fiat, but this was a strategic decision to secure the necessary funds to sustain his racing team and continue manufacturing some of the world's most coveted cars, not a desperate move to save a failing business. So, was the business side of things accurately depicted in the movie? No. The tragic 1957 Mille Miglia race is a pivotal sequence in the movie. But how accurate was the depiction of the tragedy and its aftermath? The Mille Miglia is an iconic race considered by Italians to be the pinnacle of motor racing, similar to the Super Bowl. The race, which ran 24 times over 3 decades, elevated its winners to legendary status, with figures like Alberto Ascari and Sterling Moss, portrayed by Ben Collins, among its celebrated champions. However, the 1957 race, won by Scuderia Ferrari's Piero Taruffi, played by Patrick Dempsey, ended in disaster when another Ferrari driver, Alfonso de Portago, Gabriel Leone, crashed, resulting in his death along with his co-driver Edmund Nelson and 9 spectators, including 5 children. This tragic incident led the Italian government to immediately ban the Mille Miglia, which only returned in 1977 as a rally for cars from the original 1927 to 1957 era. While the film centers on the Mille Miglia's significance, it also exposes the deep repercussions for Enzo Ferrari. Although Ferrari's team won, the fatal crash tarnished his reputation and strained his finances. So, did the Mille Miglia crash really happen? Yes. In conclusion, while Ferrari leaves out a few parts of Enzo Ferrari's fascinating life, overall the film manages to capture the major events of the story, as well as capture the authentic historical details. That's all for this video examining the fact and fiction of Ferrari. What was the most enjoyable part for you? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more fascinating content exploring the difference between movies and reality.